Welcome to new tutorial, guys. In this tutorial we are going to discuss about ellipses, slots, polygon and spline. So first, draw a sketch on front plane. So ellipses. So for drawing an ellipses, we need a major axis and minor axis to determine the contour. You can select the ellipse command from this control toolbar, or you can go in tools, sketch entities and select ellipses from here. So we have majorly four type of ellipses: standard ellipse, partial ellipse, parabola and conic. So I am selecting first option, standard ellipse. For determining the standard ellipse, we have to first select the center point and then determining the major axis and then determining the minor axis. So when you complete your ellipse, property manager is popping on your left side, that's giving more options for making relation or add relation. If you want to make this ellipse or use it for construction line, then you can do it from here. You can control your parameters from this parameter box. You can control the center point and give the new coordinates to center point from here. This is for this is major radius and this one is minor radius. You can change major and minor radius from here. Let's say I want here 2.5 for major radius and 1.5 for minor radius, and say yes. So another option is partial ellipse. The concept is same, but here we can get open contour. So for that also we have to select one center point, one major axis and then minor axis, and then determining contour. So same like previous option, they are giving the same option, almost same option. And in control parameter you can control 3 points like your center points, your both the end points, by giving proper coordinates points. You can control your major and minor axis as well. So I'll just put 2.5 here for major and 1.5 for minor. Say yes. So third option is parabola. For parabola we need a 2 point, one for center, another for generating axis, and third one for creating curve. So try it again, one for center, other for axis, and third for creating curve, third and fourth for creating curve. You can also control your both the end and center point, like the center point from here, and axis point like this point from here. So fourth option is conic. So for conic we have to determine total 4 points, one for major axis, another for minor axis, and for center of curve. Same way, let's try again. First 2 points for major axis, another for minor axis, and center point on your curve. That's where you can make conic. So everything is done in ellipsis command. Now I switch to slot command, and for that I have made standard sketch. So we have total 4 types of slot, and same like previous option that I have shown, you can access slot option from command toolbar, or go to tools, go to sketch entity, and you can select all 4 types of slot from here. Simply right click, go to sketch entity and go to slot from here as well. Or for shortcut toolbar, press S key on your keyboard and you can access to slot command from shortcut toolbar as well. So I'm going for first option. So when you select slot, it's giving you slot type box. So for making slot, we have to first determine center line. It may be linear or it may be curvature, and then we have to give constant distance from center line. So for first 3-point slot, we have to determine a center line, and for that we have to determine first 2 endpoints and then give distance from center line. So I just selecting first point and second point to determine center line, and third point for giving distance. So after you complete slot, you can see this control parameter option is available, and you can change the coordinates for your center line, or you can change the height and change the center line distance, 2-point distance from here. Let's say I need a 30 centimeter height and I need the center line for 60 centimeter. You can see the changes here in your display screen. So second option, we are going for center point straight slot. So for center point straight slot, we have to determine first center point, then end point, and third point for giving distance. So let's say first we have to determine center point, second for end point, and third for giving distance. So first 2 option is for linear center line slots, and last 2 options are for curvature center line slots. So I switch to third option, is 3-point arc slot, and for that we have to determine 3 points on curve and 4 points for giving distance. So you can see we have to determine first 2 points and giving third point, same point on curve, and we are giving 4 points for giving distance. So here we are giving first point and second point, and same third point on somewhere on third point is controlling your curve. So let's say I make third point over here and 4 point for giving distance. You can also control your radius from here and the point coordinates for center from here as well. You can change the distance and you can change the length of your curve from here. So last option is center point arc curve. So for center point arc curve, we have to first determine the center, and point number 2 and point number 3 is going to determine curve, and point number 4 is going to determine distance. So for that, we are determining the center first, then determining second point and third point curve, and 4th point is distance. So that's everything in slot option. So I'm going to discuss about polygon. So we have, when we select polygon, one property manager coming on left side, that gives us option parameters like how many sides we have. So depending on your polygon, what type of polygon you want, like you want pentagon, you want hexagon for 6 side, you want heptagon for 7 side, octagon for 8 side, you can determine your polygon side as per your polygon. Or these two option is like for circle, which used to control polygon, you want it inside of polygon or outside of polygon. So for now I'm selecting inside of polygon, and I want pentagon, so I need 5 side, and I select point over here and select my first polygon. I can control the polygon, the circle diameter from here, and angle from here as well. I can also control my center point coordinates from here. And if I need a 8 side, like I need an octagon, then I just simply press 8, select option again, follow the line, and simply make it octagon. So that's all in polygon option, friends. I am showing new command, that is spline, and it's a very helpful and very important command for making complex geometry, and it's very useful in surfacing as well. So for surface, many times you have to use this command for determining your geometry. So we have three types of spline here. I am going to explain first 2 types, and I'm leaving the third option, equation driven curve, for future tutorial because it's more advanced level. So I will explain it in future tutorial, and right now I'm going to explain simple spline. For spline, you at least need 2 points or 3 points to determine the spline. So I just make a first point, second point, and third point. Simply press right and select to exit the command. So you can see we have 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point spline. So if you want to control these standard spline, just select that point, and when you select the point, you can see that arrow and that handle. That arrow is controlling the direction, and that handle is controlling the spline geometry. You can handle it, or you can move it, your spline from here, use the direction from here. So all your points have those handle and arrow for controlling the spline. You can also, if those points are not enough to control, then you can also add the points from here, insert a spline point, and you can insert anywhere on spline. Let's say I want to insert here, I can insert the point, and I can control spline by inserting point as well. spline curve. Second option in spline is style spline. So this spline is controlled by points. The standard spline is controlled by arrow and handle, but in style spline they are controlled by points. So first I just make the spline, simply select exit command, and here you can see we have 4-point spline and we have these 2 points to control spline. So if I want to change spline curvature, I can change it from controlling this point, or let's say I need one more point over here. Simply right click, insert control vertex. So I insert control vertex over here, not on spline or on dotted line. So you can get one more additional point to control. So it's very useful command, and you need lots of practice for making or generating complex geometry. So that's it for this tutorial, guys. See you in next tutorial. Thank you.